Welcome to my channel. So in today's video I will show you how I am sketching on Procreate. That is an app that you can use on iPad with Apple Pen. And the reason why I'm showing this is because many of my students ask that they want to do digital sketches. Many of the women who attend my webinars, they want to know how to do digital sketches easily. Okay, in fashion designing, we are actually taught to make illustrations using Corel Draw, which is vector dependent. Now that is very good, yeah, no doubt, but it has got its own limitations. The software is pretty expensive, and it takes a lot of time to learn that and master that. But Procreate is it's a very good software for illustrators, because it is meant for sketching, illustration, painting, etc. Right? It has got a huge variety of brushes, and to be honest, I am also learning. Okay, I am not a pro at this. I am learning, and I'll be teaching you whatever I have learned. And in future also, I will be sharing things that I will be learning on Procreate. Yeah. So let's not waste more time and quickly jump into creating this top, which I had shared the design, a rough sketch of the design I had shared in the last video, which was a YouTube live that I had done on how to create your own designs using mood board. Okay, so if you want to see that, go quickly watch that. You will understand how I came with this design, and this video is about how I am illustrating this design. Yeah, so let's quickly watch this. Since we are making this on Procreate, so first we'll open the Procreate app, and once you open, you get this gallery section. To start a new project, just click on that plus sign on top. You can select the size. You will get multiple sizes. So in this particular case, I have selected A4 size. And how Procreate works is, it works in layers. Okay, so you can create art in layers. You can select a layer, you can change the properties of that layer. So what layers means is that you create different things in different layers. So for example, I already have the white background here. Now what I did was, in the first layer, I just put this image which I had already uploaded to my Procreate. I went to that spanner handle kind of a thing, and from there I imported this image which I had downloaded from Pinterest, and this is in layer 2. This is not on the background. So I will be working with only one of the croquis, the one that is on the right. So what I am doing is, I am deleting the other two croquis, so that way I will be able to use this as my base, and I will be working on this. Okay, now whenever you are moving, make sure that you are using two fingers, because otherwise, if you use one finger, it will leave marks, and then you will have to delete it, like just now you saw that. So I'm adjusting the size. Now as you see, this is the second layer. You will see the deleted part, you can see the dark gray part. Now I'm adding the third layer. Okay, the third layer, I don't want to change any properties right now, but the third layer is where I will be starting the sketching of my top. Okay, of the western top that I had showed. I go to the pen section, and from there I selected the technical pen. I am also learning, but I felt this pen is very nice for drawing and sketching. It gives a very good clear lines it gives. From the left hand side, you can increase or decrease the size. Like I am just increasing the width of the pen size here, as you can see from the left hand side with that slider. And once I was happy with the kind of with the size, I deleted the marks that I had made, and then I started sketching the top. So if you remember the design of the top, I'll put the rough sketch here. So that was the design of the top, and it had a little bit of collar, but it had like frilled collar, and reglan sleeves, right? And the reglan sleeve obviously passes through the armhole. So if it is reglan, make sure that when you are sketching it, it gives the impression that it is a reglan, so that it passes through the armhole. It can't pass above or below. The way we draft it, the way we cut it, it always passes through the armhole. Okay, so that is why that is the first line that I made. And then because it is a balloon top, you can see, I've given it a little bit of volume near the waist. And in a balloon top there is always elastic at the waist, so I have drawn that. And these small marks that you see that I'm making at the waist, it's kind of adds volume. It's giving a look that it will be gathered here, or the fabric will be coming together here, and hence it will form these kind of lines, right? Now this is the sleeve that you can see, just like in the collar, similar thing will be at the edge of the sleeve, that gathered kind of a thing, which I will be, for that I will be using black lace when I'm actually stitching the top. And I am making the sleeve. Same way I am making the other sleeve also. Now obviously whenever there is something that you don't like, that is not going as per your plan, there is that undo button on the left hand side. If you see, there is undo button on the left hand side at the bottom, with where the sliders are. So you can undo, redo from there. I'm telling you this because initially when I started, I was struggling to look for where what is. Yeah, because obviously all apps and all applications etc are different, so it takes you time to get adjusted with where what is. So that is why I'm telling all these things, keeping in mind that it is for a beginner. This is not for somebody who has been doing it for a very long time. Now if you see, I'm going back to layer 1. Layer 1 is where the croquis image is loaded, right? Now I am selecting the eraser option, and what I will be doing is I will erase the croquis part. If you see I'm erasing the croquis parts which are inside the top, which will not be visible. If you see, I'm erasing the bust line, because obviously that will not be visible, since this is balloon top. I erased the body that was visible from inside the top. Now because we have worked in layers, it becomes very easy to erase. You don't have to worry about erasing the lines of the tops getting erased, because it is in a different layer, so it will not get erased. Okay, what is getting erased is only the parts of the body which are inside the top, which I don't want. Okay, so that is the benefit of working in layers, because you can do editing of different layers, and without impacting the other things that you have done in the project. Right, now I'm adding another layer, and this layer, you can change the position of the layer by dragging them, and you can change whichever is higher, lower. You can change the level of the layers. Whichever layer is on top is what will cover all the other layers. Cover as in all the layers will be beneath it. So if you color it, or if you put paint into the topmost layer, the lower layers will not be visible from inside that color. Okay, now in this layer I am just making the pants, and since nowadays loose pants are in style, and this is a pattern that I am making for an apple shaped body. So I felt these are the pants that will balance the kind of body, although the croquis is not an apple shaped croquis. Yeah, but I'm taking loose pants. I'm not using jeans or something like that, so again, when you are making pants which are loose, you have to put crease, you have to put folds to make it look like it is loose, it is not sticking to the body, and hence the fabric will be folding somewhere. It will have somewhere it will be together, somewhere it will be flared out. And so we will rectify some of the lines, as you can see here. And once I am done with the pants, once I am happy, if I am not happy, later on I will be probably redoing some of the lines that are there in the pan. So just like I did for the top, now what I'm doing, I'm selecting the layer where the croquis is, the image of the croquis is, and I'll erase the parts of the body that we are able to see right now from inside the pants, because these pants are not transparent pants, right? So I selected the eraser option and I adjusted the size of eraser, and if you see, I'm erasing the parts of the body. Like I'll erase the legs, the parts of the that crotch thing, from what is visible from inside the pant. Again, I don't have to worry about erasing any of the lines of the pants because that is on a totally different layer. Okay, all I am doing is erasing the parts of the body that we were able to see from inside the pant, and that way, everything comes to life. We are able to clearly understand, okay, these are the pants, and obviously the legs are gone, and it gives a better look, and I'm able to understand the pants better. I'm able to understand the lines of the pants better. I will be able to edit it better. So I'm going back to the layer of the pants, and I will be doing some adjustments. Some of the lines which I don't like, I'll modify. Some of the lines I'll keep, I'll erase. Somewhere it is a bit thicker, multiple lines are there, so all those things we can do. So you can keep going between the layers. So if you feel the parts have not been erased properly, go back to the croquis level layer and erase it out properly. So you can keep doing this again and again. Okay, now since the lines of the body are gone, everything is much more clear. The visible creases on the pants, and also I will modify the pants a little bit, and I go back to the layer where I have made the pants. As you can see on the left hand side near the hips, there were a lot of lines, so I am rectifying that. I am removing some of the unwanted lines because it doesn't look clean, and then the fold lines which I thought were looking proper, because earlier the lines of the legs were there, so I did whatever I felt right at that point of time. So I'm erasing those, and I will be making new lines, adding new creases to the pants so that it looks better. Now that I'm okay with the design of the top and the pants, let's move on. I'm adding another layer. Now this layer is to make the rest of the croquis. Okay, so see, you remember that the croquis body is in layer 1. Okay, eventually I will remove that layer 1 completely. So what I'm doing is I'm tracing that on my new layer, the topmost layer. So if you see, I'm drawing the face, I'm drawing the neck. uh, for the transparent parts of the top, I will draw the parts of the arms that will be visible through the top, because that part is net. And same way I will draw the arms, the hands, the fingers, and I will also draw the feet. So this is, I'm drawing the collarbone, I'm drawing that little bit of the crease which is near the armpit. So all these things I'm drawing, and this is in the newest layer. This is not a part of the croquis layer or the image which we had uploaded. So let me fast forward it and show this to you. Next, I'll go back to the croquis layer, the actual image which I had uploaded, and then I'm going to erase out all the parts of the body, the feet, because now I have already made those on the topmost layer. Okay, so I'm erasing the feet, the arms, the fingers, the parts of the face, neck, the hair, everything. So now the lines will become much more clear, because that underlying those lines will be gone completely, right? So everything is new right now. So eventually what I will be doing is I'll erase that layer which has the croquis which I had uploaded, and everything is now fresh. Okay, so it will be easy for us to do the coloring next. Next, let us give her some shoes. So I'm creating another layer. Now this new layer will be for the shoes. Since her feet were positioned like this in the actual croquis, so I thought of adding some heels. So when you start drawing the shoes, I generally prefer these kind of closed shoes. It's easy because we are not designing the shoes as such. It is just, we are adding some kind of styling. Okay, so shoes are very straight lines, if you see, and the curves are also pretty sharp compared to the organic kind of curve that you see in the feet. So you see that I am making the curves, but then I will be changing it. I will make the curves, I will make the lines little bit more sharp, because that is how generally in the shoes, generally how the shoes are. And again, you can, if you are not if you don't like anything, you can erase it in this layer itself, and you can rectify the design, and you don't even have to worry that the base layer is getting erased, or you are changing the actual croquis. Next, I'm going back to layer 1 where my actual original croquis image was, and I'm erasing the feet, okay, which are inside the shoes, because obviously they will not be visible, and it will give me more clarity as to the lines of the shoes and what I want to do. So it will be easier for me to sketch the shoes properly. So you can, whatever part you don't need of the feet, you can erase, and make sure that you have already made those parts of the feet which are there in the croquis in the layer where we did the parts of the body, like we did the face, hair, neck, etc. Now I'm going back to the layer where the shoes are, and now I will rectify the shoes, because this is not looking absolutely perfect. So I will make the lines a little bit sharper, I will make the curves a little bit sharper, so that it looks like a proper shoe. Next, I'm going back to the layer of the pants, and I am making some more changes to the pants. I am making the lines a little bit more crisp, as you can see here. I will do away with some extra lines that are there, some overlaid lines are there. So I will be making those changes, and at the same time I feel that there are some extra lines of the base level croquis, so I'm deleting those as well. Next, I'm going back to the layer where I have created the top, and I'll fix the lines. So if you see that the net part around the shoulder, it can't stand up like that, okay, so it will kind of stick to the body around the shoulder, and then it may just flare out a little bit to the sleeves, the actual fabric, okay. So I'm making the line closer to the shoulder, and then it's flaring out a little bit towards the puff, okay. So then what I will do next is I will again go back to the layer where my croquis is, the actual image which I had downloaded, and I will erase the parts of those unnecessary parts which are not required, which are still there, okay. Now once that is done, next what I'm going to do is, see, on top you will see the print. I had already taken a picture of the actual fabric that I will be using to make this top, and I created another layer to now I will put that print. I'm not going to sketch the print, I'm going to put the actual image of the print on this new layer, and that will be for the top, okay. So you can just add that image to a new layer, like how you had added the image of the croquis. So I'm just selecting, I had selected, I had clicked 3 pictures. Out of that I selected one which I felt is best, and I'm decreasing the size because this is the actual print and my croquis size is very small. So I'm showing the print as much as light scale as possible. I am making it smaller, or you can adjust the size accordingly. And once you are happy with the size that it is at, next we will start putting it on the top. I'm aligning the print properly so that it covers the entire top where it is supposed to be. So this print will not be at the collar, it will not be at the sleeve ends, as in the gather part. There I will be using black lace. So I'm making sure that the print covers the entire top where it's supposed to be. Then I'm making a copy of this, and I'm adding another one because I have to put it on the right side of the top as well. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I will be aligning the print. So if you see, the print is not aligned properly, right? It is looking disconnected. Now next what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to align the print as much as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect because not everything is visible once it is created, but I'm just trying to align it a little bit so that it is as much I mean, it's closer to the actual print. It's closer to actually how it would look on a top once it is created. So once the alignment is done, once you are happy, then next what we will be doing is we will start removing the excess part of this image that we have added for the print, so that it is in the shape of the top. So that is what we will be doing now. For that, what I am doing, if you see, I will go to the layer, and this is the close up. As so I'm showing you the close up on how it is looking. Okay, I will go to the layer of where my print is lying, and I will bring it down below the layer of the top where the sketch of the top is. Okay, because then only I will be able to see the lines of the top. Now it is a black and beige print, and my lines are also black, so it might not be absolutely clear. So but I'm able to see. I hope you are able to see. Next what I'm doing, I'm selecting the eraser option and its size, and I want a sharp eraser, so I selected the eraser option. And next what I will do, I will start erasing the excess part of the print which I don't need, which is outside the top. Okay, so for that again I will trace out the border or the margin of the top where the fabric is not there. Okay, so that when I start erasing, I don't erase the print from the actual top. Okay, so you see, I'm just making the margins of the top, beyond which I will just start erasing. Remember that this was the print layer, right? So now what I will be doing, I will be going back to the layer where I had done the sketching of the top. Okay, and I will start filling these lace parts black. I'm not going to put any detailing there. Okay, I would know that it is a lace. So see, I filled it with black color. Same way, the other sleeve also, when you have to fill, remember that you cover it completely with a solid outline. Otherwise the entire canvas will get filled with the color. Okay, so entire whatever shape that you want to fill the color with, it should have a solid outline. Okay, so if it doesn't have a solid outline, make sure that you make it first, and then you put the fill colors in that. Now I made a mistake here actually. I started filling the skin color also at the same layer as the top. I should have done it in a separate layer. But luckily not much harm was done. Okay, I was able to edit without impacting the sketch of the top. So here you see I selected the color of the skin. Before that I filled the stomach part with a, not filled, I made the solid margin outline of the stomach part, so that when I filled it with the color, it remained in that section. Okay, same way I did for the other parts of the body as well. I started with filling up the color in the shoes. So exactly the same way like I had done for the body. I selected the color of the shoe and I filled it up. Before that I made sure that the shoe had a solid outline with black color, because that is what I like. You can choose it the way it is, everybody's own style. Here I am erasing some parts of black line which I didn't like. This white part that you see, I first thought I'll keep it. It's looking like a nice, shine and all. But later on, I removed it. I didn't keep it, and then I moved on to fill the other parts of the sketch. Next, I started with the pants in exactly the same way how I did for the skin, for the shoes. I filled up the color in the pants also. For that, I went to the layer where my pant sketch was, and I filled the color in that same one. I didn't create another layer to fill the color in the pants, and I did it in the same layer in which the sketch was. I should have actually made another layer, because then what happens when you have to erase or you have to make some changes, it becomes a bit difficult because your original design starts changing. But luckily not much damage was caused here, and it was manageable. It got done smoothly. I did the shading, right? We all love shading. In illustration, it is a big thing, being able to do the shading properly, right? So I started with the shading of the skin. I increased the size of the pen a little bit, and I took a little bit darker shade of the skin, and I started doing the outline, outside edges, okay, where the shadow would be like the crease of the armpit, around the shoulders, and I'm doing it only on one side. You can do on both the sides, which would show that the light is from in front. Here I am showing that the light is probably from the right hand side, of our right hand side, and so the shadow is mostly towards the left hand side, so the shading would be there, and it's practically pretty easy. And I just did with a dark color, and then once I was done with marking with the dark color in all the parts of the body, like the face, the body, the fingers, the hands, the stomach area, and then the leg, then uh, then I selected the option. I really don't know what is the name of that option. It is fourth one from the left on top. If you see right on top, fourth one from the left, I selected that. That is a very good tool I saw, which helps in merging. Okay, so I used that, and you just have to use the eye pen and rub it on the darker color and mix it, merge it with the main body color, which you will be seeing right now. I will be doing that right now. So I'll fast forward it so that you are able to understand it properly. Next, I started with the transparent part of the top where the skin colored net would be. So again, for this I made the outline with black color. I created a separate layer. First of all, I put it right on top, because this is the topmost layer. This is where a lot of changes would be done. You will see right now. And I, as usual, as previously, I made the outline with black color, and then I filled it up with the color of the net that I will be using in this part, which is mostly like skin tone. For me, it is a little bit darker than my skin tone, but that is what I want to use. And now we will see how to make this layer transparent. Now, since this is a net, the body should be visible from underneath. So what you do, where you have put the color of the net, you select that layer and then tap the screen with 2 fingers. Okay, when you do that, you see on top there is a blue line which has come on top, and it shows opacity, right? Opacity is showing 99% because I had decreased it a little bit. And now what you can do, you can drag on that blue line and you can decrease the opacity. So when you decrease the opacity, you see the color where I had filled on one side of the shoulder, it starts becoming more and more transparent. So you can increase or decrease the transparency as per your wish, depending on the kind of fabric that you are using. I will be using net, which is like completely kind of see-through. So I will be decreasing the opacity to a huge amount, and that is what I am doing. Once the transparency of a layer is set, then whatever you do in that layer will be having the same opacity or will be same transparent. So I didn't have to do much. What I did for the other shoulder, I just made the outline with black color, so that whenever I put the color inside, it fills up only that space and not it doesn't spill out outside. And then I just drag the same net color which is on the left shoulder, and I put the same net color on the right shoulder also. And since the transparency of the layer was already set, I didn't have to decrease it again. It was already transparent, and it was exactly the way it was on the left side. Next, as I had mentioned while doing mood boarding, is that this net would not remain plain. I will probably add black beads or garnet, something like that on this thing. So I created another layer, a topmost layer, only to make these round beads or garnets. And as you can see in the picture, I am drawing them after selecting the black color. I'll do it on both the sides of the top. Next, I went into the pant layer and selected a little bit darker shade, a dark grey rather, to do some shading for the pant. Because the pant has got folds, it is a little bit on the looser side, so it will have some folds, some creases which are not visible right now. So I wanted to create that to give it a little bit more depth, to add a little bit of 3D effect, although it is a total 2D image, but it adds a little bit of character and a little bit of depth to the entire illustration, and that is what we generally do. So pant layer is what I selected, the color was selected, and exactly the way I did for the skin, I first made with a lighter color wherever I wanted the crease, the folds, etc. I made the lines there, and then I went back on top, that fourth icon on the top side, fourth one from the right hand side, that is what I selected, and you just have to use it on the same lines, and it gets merged, okay, and it gets merged very nicely, giving a very nice shading effect. In exactly the same way, I did the shading of the shoes also. I chose a little bit darker color from the shoe color, so that it adds a little bit of depth to the shoe. And I exactly used the same concept. I made the outline with that dark color, and then I used that tool which is the fourth icon from the right hand side, and I just merged it and gave a nice effect. Next, I went back to the layer where the sketch of my top was, because just like the pant, I wanted to add some kind of shading because the print was looking very flat. So I chose a little bit thicker pen, and the pen was not technical pen. It was, I don't remember exactly, I'll put the name on the screen here, and it is a little bit fuzzy kind of a thing. So I selected black color, and as you can see now, I'm adding a little bit of shading around the sleeves, around the gathers, so that the entire print doesn't look flat. It gives some depth to the print also. I added shade around the armpit, especially on the croquis right hand side, okay, and you see the gathers, I made them a little bit more dark around the waist, the gathers around the sleeve, and I added shading also on the side, so that it looked a little bit more 3D. It's not a 3D image, but it gave it a little bit more depth. So that is how I finished the top. In between, I had also deleted the layer which had the image of the croquis. I forgot to show that, I think. And then last, what you can do, you can just collapse all the layers, and they combine and become one layer, and it becomes one image.
Okay, so that was how I created this design. I hope you liked the entire process, and I hope this was useful. Please do leave your comments in the comment section if you have some more knowledge or some more information that I also can use in my journey, and if you want to learn something else. Yeah. If you like the video, do give it a like, and do subscribe to my channel, and then I'll see you in the next video. See you. Bye bye.